They're not bound together by a treaty commitment in the technical sense. But India and the United States are bound together by a higher morality, a more profound morality that does not need a legal document to make it live. I speak of the common devotion that the people of India and the people of the United States have to the cause of freedom, to the cause of representative government, to the right of every country in this world to be independent of foreign domination, and to the cause of peace.
It has not been easy. I look forward to our discussions. I have no doubt that they will lead to the strengthening of friendship and understanding between our two nations, and to a lightening of our path as we work together for peace in Asia and the world.
From Nixon to Trump, the shifting tides of U.S.-India relations. The United States' relationship with India has undergone significant transformations over the decades, influenced by geopolitical shifts, security concerns, and strategic calculations. From Richard Nixon's Cold War-era hostility to Donald Trump's embrace of India as a strategic partner, the evolution of U.S.-India ties reflects changing global dynamics. Those key milestones, including the 1971 East Pakistan crisis, tensions following India's nuclear tests, and the U.S. stance on terrorism, particularly in the context of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. The 1971 East Pakistan crisis, the Cold War flashpoint. The Nixon administration's South Asia policy during the early 1970s was dictated largely by Cold War considerations. As Pakistan was a key ally in U.S. efforts to normalize relations with China, President Richard Nixon and his Secretary of State Henry Kissinger viewed India with suspicion, particularly due to its close ties with the Soviet Union. During the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, the U.S. continued to support Pakistan, despite mounting evidence of atrocities committed by the Pakistani military in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. Nixon and Kissinger remained indifferent to India's warnings about the humanitarian crisis and the influx of millions of refugees. When India, under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, intervened militarily, the U.S. reacted aggressively, even deploying the USS Enterprise, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, into the Bay of Bengal as a show of force against India. This move significantly strained U.S.-India relations, leading to deep mistrust that lasted for years. Post-Pokhran tensions, India's nuclear defiance, and U.S. sanctions. India's decision to conduct its first nuclear test in 1974, Smiling Buddha, under Indira Gandhi, and later its series of nuclear tests in 1998 under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, further complicated relations with the U.S. Washington, under President Clinton, responded to the 1998 tests with economic sanctions, cutting off military aid and imposing trade restrictions under the Glenn Amendment. The U.S. viewed India's nuclear ambitions as destabilizing for South Asia, especially given the nuclear arms race between India and Pakistan. However, by the early 2000s, a strategic recalibration took place. Under President George W. Bush, the U.S. moved towards engaging India as a counterbalance to China's rising influence. This culminated in the historic India-U.S. Civil Nuclear Agreement in 2008, effectively ending India's nuclear isolation and recognizing it as a responsible nuclear power. The deal marked a turning point, signaling Washington's acceptance of India's strategic autonomy. The 26/11 Mumbai attacks and U.S. hesitation on terrorism cooperation. The 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, orchestrated by Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba, significantly impacted U.S.-India counterterrorism cooperation. India sought access to Pakistani-American terrorist David Headley, a key planner of the attacks, but was initially met with reluctance from U.S. authorities, who had already secured a plea deal with him in exchange for intelligence. This caused frustration in India, which perceived Washington's response as prioritizing its intelligence-gathering interests over justice for Indian victims. Passion from Nixon.
Oh, he's a much tougher negotiator than me, and he's a much better negotiator than me. There's not even a contest.
This is something that
the Prime Minister has been working on for a long time and has been worked on for hundreds of years, frankly. I've been reading about it. But I will leave Bangladesh to the Prime Minister.